There we go. Fantastic. Now, in one of the worst pairings, I think, we've ever had for an interview, in terms of it going well, or as Helen wants it, we've... Pardon? No, you're not getting Parkinson.
I was pausing some music.
I'm going to have a quick chat with Andy.
Shocking.
Although we're just discussing whether I could ask the questions whilst doing this.
Yeah.
That'd be quite good fun. Quite like that.
Bit of a U-turn.
Yeah, we're starting to talk about necessary endings today in our talk today. And we're going to talk about how we're finishing you, Andy.
Excellent.
And what a brutal way to tell you.
Oh.
No.
Do you know something I don't?
So, quick fire questions to start with. Beach or mountains?
Mountains, less sand.
Favourite ice cream flavour?
Vanilla goes with everything.
How long have you been married?
43 years, 40 in August.
Well done. Yeah, Sue gets a medal for that. And where'd you get your three-piece suits from?
Preferably the charity shop, though I did have to buy new ones for my son's weddings. My favourite one of all time, I once paid £10 for a suit from a charity shop in Shrewsbury. Got home and found a £5 in the pocket.
Oh, well, there you go.
Which I did give to charity.
Yeah. So let's tell us a little bit about you. So you're married, you've got grown-up children.
Correct.
Just tell us a bit about your life, where have you come from so far?
Where have I come from far? Started off in Stafford because of many people. The father's in the RAF. Stayed here until I went to college in Leicester. Came back here and then worked my whole life despite deciding I was only going to do it for a couple of years in Birmingham, and moved houses a few times in Stafford, brought up the children, and still here.
Now, you're kind of underselling what you used to do for a job, because those of us who know Andy know that Andy used to teach the children and have time for the children who'd been expelled from school and who then went and... Now, I don't know how you had the patience.
Nor do I, but God's got plans.
But talk to him sometime. He's got some great stories. I particularly like the one about how you managed to work out who'd written abuse on your door.
Yes, that was good, yes.
Because he was the only one who could spell.
Door.
Yeah. So, there you go. Quite like that one. Lots of them. Now, how did you come to settle here at church?
It was, we were doing... I'm going to give away how old I am. Sue and I were babysitting for Ashley and Marilyn's children. That's right, the grown-up ones and things. And Marilyn said to Sue, please, would you take the children to Sunday school? They really enjoy it. So we did. Both Sue and I had experience in church before. We got here, and it was a two-part sermon. And Sue got into it and said, I want to go next week. And we've never left.
Good on. Well, at least we know who to blame now.
Yes, Ashley and Marilyn.
No, it's fantastic. Now, we're talking a lot about loving one another, growing together, serving, and you've served in loads of different varieties over the years, all the way up to being one of our elders, which you're not stepping down from, we need to point out. So just tell us a bit about all the different things you've been doing, and specifically over the last 3 years when you get to that.
Well, let's just start to the last 3 years because I've forgotten most of the others. The last 3 years, I probably was still involved on a Sunday night, a prayer meeting revival thing, and running with Sue a cell group or connect group or whatever they were called back then. I should have thought about this a bit more. Refreshments team, properties team.
Finance.
Oh, they pay me for finance. I wasn't counting that. I thought you meant volunteering.
Oh, well
I don't count it if they pay.
Well, finance.
I have to turn up if they pay. Finance, no. Pastoral. about it, I think.
Okay. And Andy's been our finance officer for the last 3 years, getting us sorted out, and he's now handing that over. And he's also handing over his property. His property. He's handing over his property.
And my property.
You are moving. Marvelous
I'm only
news.
tithing.
Handing over your position on the properties team as well. You decided it's time to bring that to an end, which is why we're talking today, because Andy's put an awful lot of work into it and different things.
I'm just good at bringing things to an end.
Okay, I will bear that in mind. I'm not sure whether that was a threat or what.
Thank you.
Anyway, I'll bear it in mind. Andy's good at bringing things to an end.
Yeah.
He has
So
a
if I come
certain
to
set of
visit, it's time to
skills.
worry.
We're really grateful for everything you've done, and it's obviously thought of as negative when people finish, but we just want to make it clear this is a positive thing, that you're not positive that you're finishing, but positive that you've decided this is the natural finish for what you've been doing.
It's funny really, because I think you start volunteering and you can start, and I know I did certainly way back, volunteers for can be quite dubious reasons at times, or because you feel guilty because somebody's standing at the front saying, we haven't got anybody to do this. But the reality of the situation is, God, you can use your skills. And then I think one thing I've learned over the years of being involved in various bits and pieces is the idea that the key to is what's your motivation is, and you really get that from listening to God. We all can be motivated for various things. I say at times, I know I've volunteered for things because it looked like there was some need. We can, and again, it's things that have crossed my mind. I think I've spoken here before how I've had an issues in the past with pride and the like, and so you can volunteer sometimes for what can be perceived as position or status. Again, but even in those situations, God can use them. But the times he really blesses, the times he really uses, is when the person volunteering has listened carefully to what God wants. Because the bottom line is, if you're going to be the most effective for God, the way you're going to do it is by making sure you're following his will. God isn't reliant on you. God doesn't even need you. But if he wants to use you, and he'll do that if you listen to him, and you're going to be far more successful in what you volunteer for if it's what he wanted you to volunteer for, not what you thought you ought to volunteer for or you fancied the sound of. So coming, and now the same thing applies to finishing, because it can be a little bit we can be a little bit clingy to things, or the other thing we can fall into is, well, who's going to do it if I don't? And that's a dangerous place to be. So you need to, so again, look constantly, if you have volunteered, reviewing your motivation and what's listening again to God. And he will tell you, okay, I don't want you to do that anymore, whether it's after a matter of months, whether it's after a matter of decades, whether it's a matter of years. And so you just got to listen. And doing that is the secret, I would say, to ending well.
Fantastic.
I was quite impressed with that. It sounded quite...
That was very good.
Was it good?
Do you need to preach now?
So,
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
cake and coffee.
So just to finish, your eldership role and everything is still continuing. All that's continuing well. We didn't talk about the fact that you were my Sunday school teacher.
James, thank you for mentioning.
Just to make you feel a little bit older. But that's great. And what we just wanted to emphasise was that we can finish well. We can hear from the Lord about when it's time to finish. And
don't be afraid to start. Yeah. And once you've started, don't be afraid to finish.
And we just wanted to appreciate Andy for all he's done for the church here. So let's just give Andy a